So when we are finding our confidence interval for two population proportions, our basic formula is going to look very similar to what we saw before. Instead of just using p hat plus or minus m, we're using p1 hat minus p2 hat plus or minus m. And it's always in that order, p1 hat minus p2 hat plus or minus m. Our steps for finding our confidence interval, we're not going to go through everything by hand. Finding our p-value, finding our z-star values and our margin of error and everything by hand. We're just going to use StatCrunch to do this because there's only a couple of homework questions in the section and then only a couple of problems that you're going to be kind of working through. So we're going to make sure that we can check our conditions of our central limit theorem, and also we're going to make sure that we do this because this is going to give us our information that we're going to plug into StatCrunch, and then we're going to find and interpret our interval using StatCrunch. Right. As we're doing these, we're going to go into proportion stats. Instead of one sample like we did in the last section, we're going to select two samples. We're going to enter the number of successes and observations for each population. Again, the number of successes can be found by taking our p-hat values times our sample size for each one. And then that's also something that we're going to find in our conditions. So as we're going through the problems on the next couple of pages, we'll talk a little bit about this. So again, we're not going to go through everything step by step like we did in section 7.4. Instead, we're just going to choose to use technology to assist us with the mathematical part and focus more on our interpretation. Is 0 included in our interval? Are both values positive? Are both values negative? What does this mean then?